Head over to the United States now, and the Queen of US Royal Reporting, Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, great to see you again. Okay, listen, folks, we've got lots of big, juicy royal stories. And let me tell you, one of them is about a huge new row that has erupted between Prince Andrew and King Charles. Kinsey, good to see you. What's happening between Andrew and Charles? It's not that bloody royal lodge again, is it?
I mean, really, is there anything else? According to the Times, King Charles could threaten to sever ties with Prince Andrew if the non-working royal refuses to leave Royal Lodge to relocate to Frogmore Cottage. The Times is citing an unnamed friend of the king. That friend claims that the king said he is willing to pay for his brother to live comfortably out of his private funds from the Duchy of Lancaster. However, that level of funding needs to be appropriate. There's another quote in this piece that reads, "Unfortunately, if Andrew refuses to leave within a reasonable time frame, then the king may be forced to reassess the whole package of support he provides, and the Duke would be required to fund the lion's share of his security, accommodation, and lifestyle costs all on his own, which, given the sums involved, is highly unlikely to be possible in the long term for Prince Andrew, who is unemployed." They stressed that there are limits of patience and tolerance when it comes to King Charles. And after multiple eviction conversations, a friend of the king's warned, as things stand, life at Royal Lodge is set to become increasingly cold and uncomfortable for the Duke.
Indeed. I mean, we know that there's embarrassment on the part of the king in relation to Andrew's controversies, including his ill-advised friendship with convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein. But what do we know of their personal relationship? Do the two men get on, Charles and Andrew?
I mean, they didn't when they were younger men, but I think both of them softened in their old age, especially towards the end of their parents' lives. I think that they've bonded through grief, but the king's ultimate objective is his legacy and how people interpret him as, a leader. And I think he understands that Prince Andrew is a liability and looks like a waste of resources.
Meanwhile, John Lennon's son, Sean Lennon, has attacked Prince Harry. What's going on?
Welcome to the party, Sean Lennon. Yeah, he tweeted, "My long-awaited review of Prince Harry's autobiography is 2 words, spare me." He said, I think I should point out, I know some people have responded with who cares, but it's worth acknowledging that this is another young man that lost a parent tragically at a young age and didn't build his entire identity around victimhood. And Sean himself said he did have empathy over Harry's loss, but, quote, "That's why I'm very disappointed with his outlook. I was hoping he'd be smarter." But Sean considers Harry an idiot, he says, and a buffoon. And when Twitter users tried to shade Sean with the Nepo baby card, he reminded them that he's accomplished a lot since the death of his famous father, including recently collecting one of those coveted Oscar statues.
Definitely. I've got to say, Sean Lennon is becoming my new hero. He might be my favourite Lennon. He's been on Twitter and he's been saying, he's been having a go at wokery. He said, "Anyone that knows me will tell you I've always been against it. My teachers, my friends, I saw it coming and I've always hated the BS. Don't tell me how to speak or what to think. Teach us how to think for ourselves rationally." He also says wokeism is not a religion, it's a full-blown cult. "I'm starting to realise we have to treat its members as victims of manipulation, indoctrination and abuse." It sounds like Sean Lennon is as much of a rock star as his father.
Well, let's hope he doesn't find out that you called Meghan Markle Yoko Mono.
Oh,
Otherwise,
no.
I think you guys could be very good friends.
I'll never live it down. Listen, let's talk about Princess Catherine. We are praying, of course, for a speedy recovery in her battle against cancer. Is there some hope about when we might next see her?
I mean, Mark, we're talking about this every week. Last week, we discussed Tom Sykes' report from the Daily Beast that she could be out until 2025. Then the reports that we could see her as early as autumn. Then earlier this week, it was reported that she would not attend Trooping of the Color rehearsals next week. But now some good news, almost, maybe. Now the Mirror is reporting that Catherine is considering a Trooping balcony appearance, depending on the way she is feeling that weekend. Look, I think everyone just wants her to feel better and be better. And in this scenario, her popularity is both a blessing and a curse. We all miss the grace and kindness she brings to the monarchy, but we really have to leave her alone until she's ready to return herself. But I'm with you. I'm praying for her recovery, and I miss seeing her. She's gorgeous, and she always was just a burst of joy.
Most definitely. Well, I'm delighted to say that in 2 weeks' time, you'll be in the UK and live in the studio for this show. So can't wait to see you then. And of course, we'll see you down the line from the United States in a week's time. Wish we had longer, but Kinsey, thank you so much for that. Do check out Kinsey's brilliant website, To Die For Daily.